Hi, my name's Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Today I want to talk about a very, very serious subject. I want to discuss the actual risk of danger when involved in a relationship with one of the cluster Bs, the psychopath, narcissist, or borderline personality disordered individual. Now, not all narcissists or psychopaths are killers. That's very clear. But almost all convicted psychopaths and narcissists, especially multiple killers, they're all cluster Bs. So though not all cluster Bs are killers, all killers are cluster Bs. So that element of danger is definitely there and definitely very real. Now there's a couple reasons for this. Now as empaths, I don't know if you guys very gently pick up bugs when you find them in your house and put them outdoors, but I certainly do. Why is that? Because I see the bug as a living creature. Now, the narcissist does not see you as a real flesh and blood human being. They see you more as a two-dimensional cardboard entity, a possession, like a lamp or a carpet or, any other inept object. That's all you are to them. So much like you could get sick of a lamp and throw it away, they too can very easily discard things that they no longer want to look at. It's very easy for them because they don't have that human connection. They're not loving you and they have no empathy for you. So when you're of that low, sort of on their importance scale, discarding you is very easy. Now, you add to the fact that the narcissist lacks love and empathy, you add to the fact they don't see you as a living entity. Now start combining other issues like potential alcoholism and drug abuse. Now let's add to that shitstorm the very real possibility that they actually hate you, loathe you, in many ways are bitterly, bitterly envious of you, and are completely capable of methodically and very manipulatively putting together a plan to harm you. We've definitely got someone here who is mentally ill. We've got someone who has a very real sense of entitlement, that they can do whatever the hell they want. They are not going to assume any responsibility. They're not going to be accountable for their actions. So when you take all of the elements of the character traits of a narcissist, clearly you're dealing with someone who is potentially dangerous. Now, another element that's really real is an explosive temper, the ability to rage over nothing, to become absolutely incensed and angry out of their minds at the drop of a hat over the smallest issue. Now, when you add all of that together, clearly I think it's safe to say that there is a very, very heightened risk of harm or injury or murder from the narcissist. But who else presents a risk to you at this time? Because I'll tell you, I was suicidal. I received hundreds of emails from people claiming that they too had become suicidal, and many, many comments about suicidal thoughts. So now we've got a double-edged sword. There's two people involved in this shit mix. One is you and one is the narcissist, and now both of you have become completely capable of harming you. This is a very, very scary and dangerous situation for victims and survivors. And unfortunately, the risk of harm from both yourself and the narcissist is present during the relationship, at the time the relationship is dissolving. Actually, when people are leaving, they are at the absolute highest risk of harm from the narcissist, and after your departure. The narcissist doesn't just let go. Remember, you're possession, and that's when you're going to start to see hoovering and a lot of things like this. Now, a lot of people experience flying monkeys and quite a battery of verbal assault after they've left. So we know that even after we've departed from the relationship, the narcissist is incensed. They're absolutely angry to the point that they're still launching an attack against you. So even once you're gone, you're not out of harm's way. Now, I'm going to read another screen here, and this is the most common reason why people commit suicide. I hope I don't lose you guys. It says, this is without question the most common reason why people commit suicide. Severe depression is always accompanied by the pervasive sense of suffering as well as the belief that escape from it is hopeless. The pain of existence often becomes too much for severely depressed people to bear. So why is that? Why has the situation become so unbearable that existence itself seems unmanageable? Now, I believe the depression that victims are experiencing was actually very, very intentionally inflicted on them. When you have been relentlessly belittled and called names and humiliated and shamed and blamed for everything and really diminished as a human being, this can cause tremendous depression. And I think this is where we have to really see this for what it is. Come to understand that we did not become depressed to the point of suicide by accident, that this was very, very well calculated, and this is a part of the abuse that's been inflicted on us. As much as we've been subjected to feeling shamed or humiliated, we have also become depressed, and I believe it's very intentional. Now, this is where I personally had to make some very serious decisions for my own life. If I was given a feeling of depression, if I was given a feeling of uselessness, can I give it back? Well, sure, I can give it back. I can take that stuff and throw it right the hell back. Because truly, I'm not a depressed person. When I look beyond the relationship, who I was before it, I was a very happy person. So I started to believe that I didn't own any of this stuff. This stuff was dumped on me. So I started to believe that I had the power to throw it back. This was going to be, for me, a mindset, a decision, a choice that I was going to make, to wallow in the misery, to stay depressed, to continue to ask myself over and over again, what went wrong, what happened. I'll tell you, today, I don't give a fuck what happened. I was treated badly. I had been negatively impacted by that, and I absolutely refuse to continue wallowing in misery. That's my choice. That is an absolute choice that I had to make for myself. So how do we do that? How do we reprogram our day, and how do we rewire our brains to thinking more positively? Well, one of the ways that I did it is I remembered who I was prior to the relationship. I was a good person. I was a kind person. I was empathetic. I was a loving person. I was a creative person. I'd seen many successes over my lifetime. I'd been a diligent and doting mother and loved my children very much. So I had to start to fall back on all those things I used to be. The other thing, as many people know, I had become quite angry. And in that anger, I had found a tremendous amount of strength. I think it's okay to acknowledge the fact that you have been absolutely and royally shit on, absolutely crapped on in the most horrendous of ways, and you don't have to become saddened and broken from that abuse. You can actually say, hold on a fucking minute here. I've been royally shit on, and I'm not going to take that. I deserve so much better than that. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be respected. I deserve to be treated with kindness. And once I started to put my foot down, I'll tell you, it was a game changer for me. And of course, here at Kim Wilson TV, with all the beautiful people from all over the world and all the tremendous outpouring of support for each other, I hope that people will latch onto that and really start to rethink what's happened. Because I'm telling you, suicide is not an option. Like, this is just a bad, bad option. I think another thing that really jarred me awake was the fact that killing myself was murder. You know, when did I become a murderer? Whether you kill yourself or someone else, I mean, murder is murder. I've always been a person that very carefully picked up insects and put them outside. So how did I go from, getting bugs outside safely to becoming someone capable potentially of murdering a human being, whether I was that human being or it was someone else? Very simply, I'm not a murderer. Absolutely, I am not a murderer. And I'm going to say quite safely, and I've become very intimate with many of you. We've become friends. We've come to know each other. And I'm going to say, out of all the emails I've received, out of all the comments I read, this is not a crew of murderers. So we need to really clear our minds of the possibility of suicide, because truly, my friends, killing yourself is not an option, and you are not a murderer. You are a very kind and loving person, and you got to change the way you're thinking regarding this. This is a very, very grave situation. And it's bad enough that one person in the relationship is capable of killing you. But when both of you are capable of killing you, my God, you're not going to stand a chance. Now, another factor I think is really important, we have families, we have children, we have parents, we have people that care about us. Now, in my children's case, my children had seen the horrendous abuse. They had been exposed to the insanity. So instead of being the good mother that I've always tried to be, was I really willing, like I had to ask myself, was I really willing to, first of all, knowing my children had been subjected to narcissistic abuse and the horrendous crud that comes with that, now I'm going to kill myself? Instead of taking my children by the hand in a loving and nurturing way and helping them to the other side of that abuse, I'm going to kill myself and dump that shit on my kids or on my mother? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. And I truly believe that even that thought was part of almost a mind washing, a mind control. And I needed to sever myself from that and say, hold on a minute here. There's something's going horribly, horribly wrong. My children love me very much. My wonderful little white-haired mother loves me very much, and I too love them very much. And I am not willing to harm them in that way, because that is just horrendous, and that is not something I'm willing to do to my family. I'm not willing to do that to my dogs. We have to snap out of it, and I don't know what it's going to take for people to snap out of it, but you have to wake the fuck up, people. It's as if we've been put in some sort of deep, dark trance where a future starts to look impossible, but a future is very, very real. Very, very real. And the future is there if you just grab hold of it. I don't know what to say. My God, I don't want anyone to hurt themselves. I didn't want to hurt myself, and I certainly don't want anyone to hurt themselves. So if you are feeling suicidal, please reach out to the friends here at Kim Wilson. You're always more than welcome to email me, and most people know my email address is kimwilsontv@gmail.com. Suicide's not an option, guys. I love you lots. Power be with you today. And I truly believe that we have the ability to rethink what's happening to us and take back our power. I'm Kim. This is Kim Wilson TV. Peace be with you.